Do you remember this clip, which was heard all over the world? It will follow Angel Reese for the rest of her career as long as her games don't sell out, draw a lot of celebrities, or have any kind of viewership motion, for lack of a better term. Ever notice how the most outspoken claims frequently fall apart when the most gentle questions are asked? A reporter for the Chicago Sky recently asked, I've been dealing with this for 2 years now, and I understand that negative things have probably been said about me, but honestly, I'll take that, because look where women's basketball is. People are talking about women's basketball. You never would think that would be talking about women's basketball. People are pulling up to games. We have celebrities coming to games, sold out arenas, like Angel Reese's bold statement from last season. People watch women's basketball because of Me Too. Her two-word response has gone viral for all the wrong reasons, simply because of one game. And I'll take on that role. I'll play the bad guy, and I'll keep doing that for my teammates. And if I want to be that, I'll look back in 20 years and say, yeah, the reason why we watch women's basketball is not just because of one person, it's because of me too. And I want you all to understand that even though we'll soon reveal that awkward moment, the real story is in the numbers. Is Reese truly the draw, or has she just been riding Caitlin Clark's coattails? It's so long since I've seen this clip that I've forgotten how haughty Angela sounded, how full of herself Angela Reese sounded, and not only how nasty she sounded, as well as the nasty facial expressions that coincided with her answer, but you can see it clearly on her face. She's disgusted that she's not getting the credit that she deserves. Let's go into this hilarious case of foot and mouth syndrome. As a reminder not to write checks you can't cash if you're Team Clark. People watch women's basketball because of Me Too. That audacious statement from the previous year's WNBA season just exploded into reality in a spectacular way. I suppose the phrase "reality is coming" was actually directed at Angel Reese. I'm sorry, young lady, no one would be watching the WNBA, and for you, it's all about Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark is bringing the money to the game, the planes to the game, the TV viewership, and the WNBA is on fire because of Caitlin Clark. At the height of her rivalry with Caitlin Clark, not only as a great player, but as a viewership magnet. After LSU's victory over Iowa a few years ago, Reed didn't back down from the limelight. She claimed it, embraced it, and basically told everyone that she was equally responsible for the record-breaking viewership as Clark was. The narrative she created was so clear that women's basketball needed both of them equally, that Angel Reese was asked about it. Fast forward to a recent Chicago Sky press conference to start the 2025 season, and a reporter asked Reed about that well-known claim, whether she still thought that people were watching women's basketball because of her, too. Well, last year you made a strong statement and said that people were watching women's basketball because of you, too, not just one player. A year later, do you feel like you're next? Next question, no explanation, no defense, no statistics to support her previous boast, just a quick dodge that revealed more. Her response? 2 uncomfortable words that spoke volumes. It was her statement from last year's basketball season, and the person asking it was asking her how she felt about it. She pulled the next question, and she duck goosed that right out of existence. This moment wasn't just uncomfortable, it was revealing. When Ree was faced with her own words, she was unable to support them with concrete evidence, and to be honest, why would she try? The numbers clearly tell a completely different story than the one she tried. Telling us last year, let's take a look at the numbers. The Chicago Sky's average home attendance was only 8,000 fans per game last year, while the Indiana Fever sold out every game at Gainbridge Fieldhouse, which can accommodate over 17,000 fans per outing. She also mentioned sold-out arenas. Which arenas are selling out that don't have Kane Clark playing? I need to know. However, the Las Vegas Aces don't sell out season tickets. Tell me someone who sells out every single place they go that isn't Caitlin. This year, let's take Reese's preseason homecoming game at LSU, where she should have a lot of support because it's her college stomping grounds, where she won a championship and built her brand. However, only 6,000 fans showed up. At Pete, Maravich Assembly Center, an arena that can accommodate over 13,000 people. That's not exactly a ringing endorsement of her star power, as her statements from last year were. I mean, that's from a circus. That was a clown show statement to have made about watching for us and blah, 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 blah. It gets worse when you consider her other preseason games. The Chicago Sky's home game against the Minnesota Lynx drew only 4,600 fans. Consider that her own WNBA home court couldn't even fill 5,000 seats. Another game against the Lynx, this time in Minnesota, drew only 7,600 fans. And let's be honest, the majority of those fans came to watch the home team, the Lynx. These aren't the numbers of someone spearheading a basketball revolution. They're the attendance figures of any other W. Quickly, who among the Chicago Sky fans are true basketball fans, or are they fans of Angel Reese, the content creator? Because, well, some of those people are clearly watching basketball, but is it because of Angel Reese, or is it for the Chicago Sky team's benefit and you want to see them win games? The pattern is so obvious. Game after game, the stands tell the story that Reese doesn't want to address. Reese's mother tried damage control on social media after the LSU game, posting after all of the that certain fan base looking in the stands celebrating attendance while others are looking up in the rafters celebrating championship banners. We ain't the same. Different years, same haters. Have a great day. Well, all right. It's a different year and it's the same haters. But I think you're calling yourself out, Mama Ree. She discusses Caitlin Clark's high ratings, saying, "The defensive tone speaks volumes when you can't win with facts, so attack the people pointing them out." The next question wasn't just Reese avoiding an awkward reporter, it was, the attendance figures for Reese's games reveal the harsh reality she's unwilling to face. Talking about being a draw and actually being one are two completely. She made a claim she can't support, and now the receipts are due. The numbers don't need to be interpreted or spun. They are unmistakable proof that something doesn't add up. Trust me, these attendance figures are going to look even more embarrassing when we compare them to what's happening with Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever. I want you all to understand that Angel Reese voluntarily went on a quote where they're watching for me too. She created the drama by saying different things and saying the next question, so she doesn't want to take responsibility for her own words. Reese avoids questions about her impact, and Caitlin Clark doesn't need to say a word. The numbers paint a picture so clear that it's almost embarrassing for anyone who tried to compare themselves to her. Asking her about her comment as we enter a new season is completely normal and not stirring things up. Carver Hawkeye Arena sold out of its 15,000 seats in 45 minutes, which is faster than it takes to watch a quarter of basketball. People were rushing to get tickets as if their lives depended on it, and who could blame them? This wasn't just another basketball game, it was a phenomenon. Caitlin Clark mania. And here we go again, 3 million people watched on Sunday afternoon to watch Caitlin Clark return to Iowa as a professional and begin making three-pointers from absurd distances. Reese's camp will argue with her. Let's take a look at the receipts. Clark's jersey became the second best-selling basketball jersey in 2024, only behind the legendary Steph Curry and Reese. She's not even in the top 10. Consider. That Caitlin is selling more merchandise than NBA veterans with multiple championships like LeBron James, and that analysts predict she will take second place in all-time WNBA jersey sales during her sophomore season. These aren't just good numbers, they're historic numbers. What about viewership? Tell me, everyone who's receiving more than 1 million views on their basketball games on a regular basis without Caitlin's name. Oh, all right, Angel. Angel Reese then says, "Oh, I'll be pleased to play the villain role. I'll be happy to play the villain role, but don't be mean to me." If you want to see the difference even more clearly, take a look at the ticket pricing for preseason games. Yes, preseason games with Clark typically cost over $600. 0 cents a ticket. It's not an area. It costs over $600, 0 cents to watch exhibition basketball. Statistics that would make some NBA teams envious. In fact, that average is the highest ever recorded for a basketball game at any level, including men's and women's college games. Clark didn't just break records, she shattered them. Angel Reese, why are we next? This guy sets you up perfectly to answer that. You're full of yourself. Oh, I'm so glad you asked that. They are only watching because of Me Too. They only know that other girl because of Me Too. They only attend her games rather than my games because of me. The impact goes beyond just filling arenas. Teams scheduled to play against the Fever are literally moving their home games to larger NBA arenas just to accommodate the demand, something that has never happened to Reese or any other player in the league's history. Then there's the merchandise explosion. The Indiana Fever launched their Now You Know campaign centered around Clark and sales. #1 jersey seller in the WNBA. Why? Because of Me Too. That's why Time Magazine Sports, because of me. Everything Kane Clark has is because of me. The Fever are now a must-watch franchise, and everyone knows exactly why. I saw this thread on Twitter. I was pleasantly shocked and surprised, thinking it was so cool and so savage. Perhaps the most telling evidence of all is that the team will have 41 out of 44 games nationally televised this season, which is 93% of their schedule. They even made a tour-style t-shirt that reads, "Every game is a home game," a nod to how Clark draws crowds wherever she goes. When a WNBA team receives more national TV exposure than one of the NBA's signature teams, something extraordinary happens. This unprecedented level of coverage isn't happening because TV executives are fans of Clark. Rather, it's because viewers tune in when she plays. Networks follow money, and money follows viewership. The WNBA is aware of this as well, which is why their most recent commercial heavily features Clark. Of course, the Indiana Fever are that top team in the Caitlin Clark is the driving force behind the WNBA's current popularity surge. She's not just a great player, she's transforming the economics of an entire professional sports league. The contrast couldn't be more striking. One player makes bold claims about her impact and then hides when asked to back them up, while the other quietly transforms the game. The team with the most fans seems to know that they have that fan base, as evidenced by attendance numbers, merchandise sales, and TV coverage. This isn't about opinions anymore. It's not about who you like better or who plays better. It's about hard facts. And those facts tell us exactly who's driving women's basketball forward. Here we have today essentially clapping back at all of that, proving that they know that they are the Showtime team, the biggest team currently in the WNBA. And one person avoids questions while the other responds to critics with sold-out arenas and record-breaking numbers. The Indiana Fever benefit not just the league as a whole. Though WNBA, the Fever didn't just pick Caitlin Clark last year and hope for the best. They developed an entire organizational strategy around her that demonstrates their understanding of a fundamental principle. Star power needs to be supported by genuine dedication on and off the court. The Chicago Sky, on the other hand, seem unsure of what to do with Angel Reese. Is she just another player and a marketing tool? Indiana has gone all in with a win-now mentality, surrounding Clark with veteran talent like Sophie Cunningham, Dana Bonner, and Natasha Howard. These aren't just haphazard additions. They're deliberate moves to the Fever recognize something important. Drafting a superstar isn't enough. You need to build around them. I think that anytime you play with a Godard team or the Godard game, you're going to learn a lot. You know, that they're going to be ready for the ball, head on a swivel at all times. Cunningham even compared Clark to a young Diana Taurasi, saying that her game is spicier, flashier, and somehow even more dangerous. She throws the ball a lot like DT did, so I believe this is just a younger version of her. She has a little bit more energy and is a little bit more spunky. I miss DT when she was at her best, but that doesn't mean she wasn't good when I played with her. Ultimately, though, everyone can shoot right. If you're cutting and open, you're going to get the ball. So you just need to be ready for that. I'm looking forward to that. I believe that 1 through 5 are interchangeable. So you'll see the 5 bring the ball down. This strategic approach also highlights the difference between the Fever and Sky organizations. The Fever understand that true star power requires organizational dedication and on-court success. You can't just put a player on billboards and expect attendance to soar. You need to win games, create chemistry, and create something that fans want to be a part of. The addition of those winning veterans, along with young stars Aaliyah Boston, Lexi Hull, and Kelsey Mitchell, creates a perfectly balanced roster that's meant to compete right away, not just sell tickets. This strategy contrasts sharply with Chicago's more passive approach with Ree. There is no clear vision for how Ree fits into their long-term plans, and there are no aggressive moves to surround her with complementary talent. It's the difference between a franchise that has direction and one that is just reacting. The message is clear. We're not waiting 3 years to be good. We're trying to win right now. That's how you capitalize on momentum, by giving fans something to cheer for beyond just one player. When Kennedy Carter cheap shot Caitlin at LSU, did she force Angel Reese to jump up off the bench like a member of Cobra Kai? Did Caitlin make Angel Reese whine about everything? She couldn't afford to pay her rent. She couldn't do this, she couldn't do that. Much whining, but all of the narcissistic remarks came at the same time. Perhaps she comes by it honestly. The Fever's dedication goes beyond their roster. They've improved their facilities, increased their marketing campaigns, and accepted their position as the new W. They recognize that maximizing Clark's influence necessitates an all-encompassing strategy that affects every part of the company. What's particularly noteworthy is how swiftly everything happened. In just 1 year, Indiana went from being an afterthought to the WNBA's most talked about team. They went from being lottery regulars to being on must-see TV. This kind of change doesn't happen by chance. It's the result of strategic planning and organizational alignment around a core vision. We're not here to chase greatness, we're here to claim it. Our goals don't fit in. The Fever's strategy demonstrates that real star power combined with astute organizational strategy creates a winning formula both on the court and at the box office. You can't separate the two. Successful teams don't just draft stars, they create ecosystems where those stars can thrive. While Ree finds it difficult to support her claims with results, Clark and the Fever are demonstrating that actions speak louder than words in creating a basketball phenomenon. Needed to let people know that she's a draw. The Fever have developed a whole strategy around that fact, and the results speak for themselves. The contrast is striking. One player discusses her influence while another quietly changes a league. One team appears unsure of their course while the other fully commits to a clear vision. And the differences aren't just about the players, they're also about organizational philosophy, strategic thinking, and knowing what it takes to convert star power into long-term success. For May 17th in Indianapolis, Indiana, when the season begin. The truth is now very clear. Caitlin Clark, the Ali Frazier of our generation, is hosting the Chicago Sky, and Angel Reese, the Indiana Fever, at Gainbridge Fieldhouse in Indianapolis. While Angel Reese tries to avoid being asked about her influence, Caitlin Clark is actually revolutionizing women's basketball, and you can't argue with sold-out arenas, record-breaking jersey sales, and unprecedented TV coverage. The 2025 season will tell the whole story. While playing in packed NBA arenas, Clark's Fever will dominate national television. Meanwhile, this teaches us something valuable about life in sports. Some people talk about greatness, while others accomplish it quietly, letting their impact speak for themselves. If you're on Team Clark, leave a comment below that says baby goat over baby giraffe. Like, subscribe, and turn on all notifications so you never miss anything. Click the video on the screen and we'll see you in the next.